Hello and welcome back to In Defense of a Movie Podcast. It's time for some jury duty. My name's Dan. Joining me as always, you know him, you love him, my co-host Aaron.
Wow, what an introduction. Hey guys, how you doing?
I hope you enjoyed our last episode, Gentlemen Broncos. I hope you listened to our episode on your way to the theater to watch Minecraft, because this is going to be this episode's going to be heavily centered on Jared Hess. So
yeah, and also I hope that you watched the season finale of White Lotus as well.
Yeah.
There's a little Mike White thrown in there.
This whole universe of characters. They're all
yeah,
pals.
Definitely.
I also hope you watch the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do want to talk about it. But first, Aaron, I had a thought this week I wanted to share with you.
Okay, lay it on me.
I've realized that I'm the world's most boring psychic.
Okay.
I'll tell you why, because all of my movie predictions and insights or hot takes or whatever are all based on really mundane synchronicities.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example. On our last episode, when we were talking about the Gorge, I randomly mentioned how I thought it would have been cool if it was almost like that Death Stranding game where it leaned into the paranormal side of things. And then 2 weeks ago, I finally watched A Quiet Place Day 1. We borrowed it from the library in my big haul of random movies I like to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And lo and behold, last week, it was announced that the director of A Quiet Place Day 1 would be directing the Death Stranding movie. And I'm just that's really topical of me to have mentioned, but also super mundane and boring. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how many times have I done this on this podcast? I was thinking about the Tiana stuff and because it's not useful information. It's not I'm not getting lottery numbers or anything. I'm
not
just
useful to you.
just getting dumb Hollywood synchronicities.
But the Hollywood producers that listen to this podcast, it's gold to them.
Yeah, no, I was thinking a lot about Death Stranding because Hideo Kojima is about to release Death Stranding 2. I'm slowly slogging through the first one, and I have no idea how it's going to translate to a movie, but I am curious to see what they do with it nonetheless.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah. So how you doing, Aaron? Have you watched anything good lately?
Yeah, there's been a few shows that I've been watching. One, obviously, White Lotus.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool watching that, and I know we're going to get into it a little bit later here, but definitely there's this Jared Hess, Mike White kind of collaboration that goes on, and you can even tell in the White Lotus that connection is still running strong in it, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, you see the sensibilities kind of shine through.
Yeah, and definitely not only that, but actors that were once in Jared Hess movies are also in the White Lotus, right? So we got Jennifer Coolidge. She's in both Jared Hess films and Mike White films, and then also what is his name? I can't remember, but he's the one that plays the uncle in what is that movie? Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so he's in White Lotus as well.
Well, before we jump into that and obviously the Minecraft movie, do you mind if I quickly touch on Daredevil Born Again?
Please.
A lot of time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
The mayor serves his city. I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Hating the power it has over us.
Daredevil Born Again is sitting on Rotten Tomatoes at 87% with an audience score of 81%. And very, very close consensus there. It, of course, stars Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Margaret... oh, man, now I'm pulling an Aaron here. Margaret LaVavia, Deborah Ann Wool, And Wilson Bethel's back as Poindexter. And yeah, so as everybody knows, this is kind of a soft reboot. There was 3 very successful and very well-regarded seasons on Netflix that I just rewatched last fall and basically binged it and loved every minute of it. Really, really liked the show. Thought it was so good, so well done. I love John Berthal as the Punisher. And yeah, I just love the show. So going into this one, I was trying to keep my expectation level low because, let's face it, Disney and Marvel have a pretty bad track record as of late. So I was like, you know what? I knew a bit of the production story behind it. I know that they basically shot like half the series and then decided to do a complete day one rewrite because originally, Aaron, this new Daredevil show wasn't even going to be based on the Netflix series. It was going to be a brand new thing.
Okay.
And like Foggy and Karen weren't even going to be in it. Neither was Kingpin's wife. And the actors kind of basically said, look, we need to continue the story or else we're all walking. And so they kind of got their way.
Okay.
Now, watching this new series has kind of been like a constant roller coaster of peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
To be honest, for the most part, I thought it was really bland and kind of awful. The writing was clunky. The editing was clunky. The fight scenes, believe it or not, were clunky. And everything just kind of felt like it was kind of made by committee, like cobbled together. They really nerf a lot of the more interesting themes from the Netflix show, like Matt Murdock's Catholicism, for instance, really didn't seem like Disney wanted to go there. It's way less edgy than the Netflix show. It just feels a little bit sanitized and less gritty, and the characters aren't quite as edgy, and it doesn't feel like as dangerous as a world. So it's got this kind of muddled feeling to it. And the first episode to this show, I hated it so much that I almost didn't watch the entire series. The CGI was baffling. Some of the story choices were baffling. And I just was like, oh no. But I stuck with it. I rode the waves up and down. And I actually didn't know that the series was wrapping last night as of recording this. I thought it was going to be like 10 episodes or even longer, like the Netflix show. I didn't track what the overall length was. So I was on social media yesterday. I think I was on an X, and I saw a tweet from like Disney or whatever that just said, the finale for Daredevil Born Again is tonight. And I kid you not, I laughed out loud because I couldn't believe it, because I just felt like there was nothing going on. Like there wasn't enough like of a show to even end. But Aaron, I gotta say, the finale of this season was so good that it just about redeemed the entire season.
Wow, that's high praise. I also makes me very, very curious.
Yeah, it's kind of worth slogging through just to get to the finale, just to see Daredevil and Punisher kicking some ass together again.
Okay.
Yeah, the finale, I don't know what happened, but the finale felt the most like the Netflix show out of the entire rest of the run of these new episodes. And it made me more optimistic for the show's future than I thought I would be. But to be fair, the finale started with a flashback, which we talked about, which I freaking hate. We talked about this. But it was one of the longest episodes of the whole season. So that was also a redeeming quality.
Well, at least they made the last episode the longest.
Yeah, the thing I struggle with is they're really trying to shoehorn Daredevil into the MCU, but they're tiptoeing around things that don't really fit in the theme or the tone of the show, and they're also juggling all these different rights issues between, say, Sony and Marvel. What can show up in TV, what can show up in film. You really feel that because they can't talk about certain things. They kind of tiptoe around talking about the blip or the snap. They don't mention Thanos. I don't think they mention... Yeah, they don't mention Spider-Man, I don't think, but they do mention Officer Morales, who's Miles Morales' dad.
Oh, okay.
So there's nods to like lots of characters like Miss Marvel and things like that. But it's hard for me to... Like, it just doesn't feel like the same universe as the MCU does. And I don't think it should. And so it's like, I don't know where that puts this show.
Yeah.
The actor who plays Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, he said that because of rights, Kingpin can't appear in any of the movies. He's relegated to TV. So it's like this show exists in a bottle.
Yeah.
With very loose ties to the MCU. And so I don't know what any of this means.
That kind of grinds my gears a little bit there.
Yeah, it should. Absolutely.
Why even bother making a show if it's not going to tie into your giant grand scheme of everything?
Yeah.
At this point, all it is trying to get that Netflix fan base, onto Disney Plus. That's all it seems like what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it is, because in this show, Fisk becomes mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And this is the same New York that had like Iron Man flying around in it and, beams shooting up into the sky every 5 minutes and alien invasions and all these fantastic heroes. And in this show, you get the sense that none of those people are really actively doing anything. Because if they were, the plot of this show wouldn't really be happening the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I really want the writing of this show to get better because the plot is just loose and predictable and as all get out. But I gotta admit, it was good seeing the gang back together. Like, it was good seeing all those characters back in action. Yeah. They look great. They haven't skipped a beat. Like, the acting was as good as it's ever been in the Netflix show. So that's the shining spot. There were some really good new characters, I thought. But again, the writing and the tone and just some of the cinematography felt so cheap, and they shouldn't have tried to shoehorn it into the MCU. I just don't think that was the right move.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Anyway, bit of a rant there, but if you loved the Netflix show, just, go in, tread carefully. You'll need a lot of patience to get through this one, but the finale was worth the wait, and I think it made me more excited about the future of the show. But, Aaron, we know how these things go, right? They have a banger finale, and then we're back to kind of the, the filler episodes and everything else.
What they do is they hook you.
I don't know.
And they hook you with like the first and the last episode so that you want to watch, but then everything in the middle is just crap.
Yeah.
That seems to be the formula for TV these days.
Yeah. So just going to patiently wait for Andor, and I don't necessarily recommend this Daredevil show. I really don't think it was that good. Yeah. But you know what? You're going to watch it if you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
What do you got, Aaron?
Well, to jump back on the White Lotus train, because if you're looking for a good show to watch, and I don't know, you like smart social commentary, then this show is for you.
Everyone comes to Thailand. They're either hiding from someone or they're looking for someone.
I think the cosmos brought us together. I'm going to help you bring your joy back.
Oh, hey, slow down, Dick.
Why are rich men always so angry?
Everything okay? It's just work stuff. We're not supposed to tell my family. We're poor now, and Daddy's going to prison.
There has been more crime on the island.
I'm a little freaked out. I think we need to call the police.
Your job is to protect the hotel.
พี่แค่ไม่อยากทำร้ายใคร
พี่ต้องเข้มแข็งกว่านี้ดิถึงจะทำงานนี้ได้อะ
Everyone tells me what a great man you are.
What if we lost everything?
Honestly, I don't know if I'd want to live. I just don't have it in me.
White Lotus is already so popular, and I'm sure the majority of you already watch it, but I found out a few cool things about the show, which I thought were worth sharing. So the first thing is apparently all the actors who star on the show all get the same pay, which is something like $100,000 plus an episode, which I thought was really cool. So Walton Goggins is in the new season here, season 3, and it was, I guess, Woody Harrelson was supposed to play him originally, like the character that Walton Goggins is playing, and he requested more money, which then he got turned down, but said he would record anyways, but due to schedule conflicts or whatever, he couldn't do it. So that's when Walton Goggins stepped in to fill the role. But anyways, I just thought it was like some cool stuff they're doing on that show, right? And the other thing, Dan, like, do you know much about the show?
No, I actually don't.
Okay, so obviously I talked about this before. Mike White, who was he, Lonnie in Gentlemen Broncos? Anyways, he was the redheaded, like, long-haired dude in Gentlemen Broncos, but he's just such an interesting guy to me, and kind of almost seems like someone that Hollywood needs right now that does things like a little bit differently. He's a super interesting guy. Takes like a bunch of random roles, like the Gentlemen Broncos, but not only that is at some point he was on a season of Survivor. Yeah, so he was like competing on the Survivor show. And he also, like his co-stars from Survivor, he also has cast them into the White Lotus. So it's just, there's a lot of little like neat things that he does that just seem so random. But I really enjoy it because it's kind of... it's a social commentary about certain types of people who stay at resorts. And that's like the best way that I would describe it. But when you get like rich people going to, almost like a third world country to stay at a resort, you get some pretty entitled people.
Oh, yeah.
So you can just imagine what the type of things that go on. But the show always has lots of twists and is also written where it's like multiple storylines that are going on, and then eventually they all get like linked back. So I can't say enough good things about it. Just wanted to touch on that a little bit, seeing as in we're getting into the Minecraft movie here and the Jared Hess Mike White relationship. But with that being said, should we jump into Minecraft?
Yeah, I'm excited for more of the Jared Hess, Mike White cinematic universe.
Yeah. Like these two guys, and they also do like in Minecraft we also had Jennifer Coolidge in this movie. So she was in White Lotus, she was in Gentlemen Broncos. So it's just cool. It seems to me, just looking in, that there's definitely some sort of friendship there between, all these actors and the directors.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about a Minecraft movie.
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Go on! Get out of here!
But the call of the mines was too strong. So one day, I started digging and digging until I found this. A wonderland where anything you can imagine is possible. As long as what you imagine can be built out of blocks.
It's sitting on Rotten Tomatoes at 47%, but the audience score, the popcorn meter, is 87%, Aaron. This, of course, stars Jack Black, Jason Momoa, Emma Myers, Danielle Brooks, Sebastian Hansey, and, of course, Jared Hess is the director. And it was written by 20 different people. Aaron, before we get into this, I just want to say two things off the bat.
Yeah.
The first thing is, I tried a thing on our Instagram. I thought it'd be fun to kind of, use social media to kind of push some more eyes towards our podcast. So I tried doing a thing where I gave some preliminary reactions right as I came out of the theater. And we actually might have different views of this movie. So I'm curious to talk about this. But if you haven't checked out our Instagram, feel free to pop over there and see my very preliminary thoughts, because I've had a bit to think about it. And the second thing I want to say is this movie is doing incredibly well at the box office.
Yes.
And I have seen nothing but negativity about this movie from basically every movie critic online.
Yeah.
And all I want to say is that Warner Brothers does not care what you think right now. It doesn't care what I think or what Aaron thinks. They needed this movie like you wouldn't believe, right? Like, they have not been doing well lately. They're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, well, let's get into it.
Let's go. What did you think?
I enjoyed the movie. It was chaotic. Nothing made sense. And it was just like jam-packed full of jokes. And so I think I also have a little bit of a soft spot just because of how this is, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cultural moment. With people going nuts in the theaters. And so I think that's really cool. I mean, I feel sorry for the people who got to clean up after all these kids, but also I kind of am like there for it.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Remember when we talked about a few jury duties back, we talked about like meme marketing, creating those moments and how much that's driving profits these days.
Yes.
Along comes Minecraft and just smashes that out of the park.
Yeah.
With this,
It
the
is
chicken
a
jockey
movie.
scene.
Yeah.
People have been going absolutely buck wild in these theaters to the point where they've added disclaimers to the top of the movie to not go crazy and to not throw popcorn. I saw all these great viral videos online of people bringing like actual chickens into the theater or just going ballistic. And I do feel for these people that work at the theater. I for sure do. But as somebody who worked at a theater for a couple of years, I got to tell you, sweeping popcorn off of like a concrete floor is just about the easiest thing you'll ever do in your life. So it's not like, it's not like a concentration camp or something like these guys, it's a pretty, I don't know, it's a pretty harmless way to have fun, right? Like if I was their age, I'd probably be doing the same thing. So
it's also very interesting because theaters are doing horrible right now, right?
Yeah.
But this movie is all of a sudden so successful. It's not because it's a great quality movie or anything. It's this meme format, right? And I hate to say it, but if you want to have success in theaters going forward, I think movies are going to have to kind of figure out how to make it like a little bit of an experience so that there's something to go to the theater for. You know, I was lucky enough to experience like, nothing quite as crazy as people setting chickens free or throwing popcorn. But I definitely heard cheering and like hollering and excitement at the chicken zombie scene and when he introduced himself as Steve. And I don't know, some being like an older dude watching a Minecraft movie and seeing all these kids get excited and throw their popcorn and stuff. For me, I'm just kind of watching it being like, this is what it's supposed to be, like this is what cinema is supposed to be. This movie is engaging people. Maybe it's not the right type of attention, but I don't think that there is anything more that would say success other than, number one, money, and then just the amount of people going out to see this movie and just being very excited about it and having very over-the-top reactions.
Yeah, because I think the kids want to have fun, right?
Exactly.
The market's redefining the cinematic experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the Taylor Swift Eras movie where everyone's dressing up, wearing the friendship bracelets, they're dancing in the aisles and up front, they're singing, they're having a great time with their friends. Mm-hmm. I think of the Minecraft movie, I think of Barbenheimer, that whole thing. People want stuff that they can share on their socials. They want stuff that they can talk about with their friends. They want to be part of a cultural moment.
Yes.
It's just the way that the younger generation is finding connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they're choosing to enjoy this stuff. And if you're old curmudgeons like us, you might not be so inclined to have that experience, but Hollywood's always been very reactionary, and we've alluded to this a lot when we've talked about viral marketing. We've talked about generational filmmaking and things like that. Yeah. And I think Minecraft is the perfect example of absolutely hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Now that being said, like I thought this movie was kind of terrible.
Yeah.
I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was kind of embarrassingly bad. And
dude, have you played Minecraft?
I played it for maybe 4 or 5 sessions. I think I built like a hockey rink and a Star Destroyer and I called it a day.
Honestly, it's like the video game is just some pixelated BS that just has like a really calming music in the background that people just zone out and play. And so if that is the game that has captured millions of people, it's pretty safe to say that the movie is probably not going to be too far off from it. Like the audience isn't going to care about CGI. They're not going to care about like making sure things look properly. I mean, at least the target audience, right? And that's what I mean is because like you're coming from playing the Minecraft game, which is notoriously like pixelated graphics, right? Like the main characters are block people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but
yeah.
I went and saw it in the VIP format at Cineplex. It's basically like, you know, you can order food and drink to your chair, and it's 18 plus, so it's a little bit more like whenever I'm going to go see a movie, especially if it's something specifically for the show, I'll typically go to the VIP and spend a bit more money for the VIP format, just because I find that the higher cost is a bit of a soft barrier to entry, so you get significantly less like chaos and riffraff and like a little bit more respect in the theater because people just have paid a bit more to be there and whatnot. But
you don't want respect when you're watching this movie.
That's the problem. My cinema was, I think there was less than 20 people in there, and it was dead silent for the entire film.
Just so much respect in there.
Yeah, right? Not a single laugh. And that's a big problem because we just weren't the target audience. And I really think it's telling that the VIP cinemas were like a third of the way full, maybe even half the way full, right? But the lobby was full of teens who were gearing up to go into their showings of like the other cinemas. And let me tell you, man, these kids looked like, some of these kids, they looked like they were about to go on like a cruise. Like they were so excited. They had luggage with them. They had plans, right? Like everyone was showing up to be part of the viral moment. And for the first time in like a long time, I was like, man, I wish I was in that theater. I want to know what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah. You should have gone, because that for me, I think that may have made the movie for me. Seeing everyone get excited about it. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely added to it, though.
It was really intense, the energy. Like I haven't seen kids. People were screaming in the lobby out of excitement, and I haven't seen that kind of enthusiasm in a theater lobby maybe in ever. Like honestly, maybe not ever have I seen that level of excitement.
That's so cool.
You know, it's a Saturday night, right? And so I don't know what theater chains want, but you can bet that they're fast tracking Minecraft Part 2 or another Minecraft movie, whatever they're going to call it, right? Because they needed this hit, and this movie. There's talk, I mean, I mentioned it on the Instagram video, but there's talk of it actually potentially ending its theatrical run at $1 billion already. They're talking about it like that. So
that's amazing. And you know what I love about this movie too is that it's kind of like an outlier, right?
Yeah.
Which makes me so happy, because I think we need more of these movies in order to get studios to take more risks. But this movie, it's not going to blow you away because of its story. It's not going to blow you away because of its effects or the fact that there's no superheroes in it. Like it doesn't meet any of those categories that, are normally these big, huge blockbuster movies. But it's just this silly, chaotic movie that's just, taking like young people by storm here. So I don't know. And when you got something like that, like how can you hate it? At that point, I think you're kind of more so hating it because so many young people are loving it, and you are a curmudgeon, and you're like, darn young people, throwing their popcorn around. So I don't know.
You know what the irony of all this is too?
What's that?
Jared Hess has done it again.
Yeah, okay.
He's created the movie where the audience shows up and just loves it. And then there's all the people who aren't into this hipster nonsense and are shaking their fists at it and being like, why do you like this?
Yeah.
It's Napoleon Dynamite all over again, but it's on a astronomically bigger scale. And I think that's so interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. When you put it like that, you have a point.
What did Gentlemen Broncos made like what, $100,000 worldwide?
Something like that.
Let me tell you, man, Jared and Jerusha Hess are putting in a pool. Like this is crazy for them, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But also good for him. I hope this leads to Nacho Libre 2. Don't know what it is going to be. Also, Dan, I wanted to ask you about this, because some of, obviously, we got Jack Black reuniting with Jared Hess since Nacho Libre. And there was, I swear to you, there was certain times where he's acting and he will say certain lines in the movie where I'm like, he's throwing back to Nacho.
Yeah, absolutely.
And did you pick up on any of that?
Yeah, I even was expecting more of it in the little like wrestling ring random section.
I was hoping we'd get the eagle
I was expecting the eagle soar for the entire almost the entire movie. I was expecting the eagle soar.
Yeah. I did love the friendship between Jason Momoa and Jack Black. Spoiler alert. That whole scene where he's flying on his back, I was like cackling by myself.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
That was the funniest part of the movie by far, in my opinion. That whole sequence. Speaking of which, there's this pirated version of this movie floating around online.
Okay,
but it's kind of going viral because the special effects weren't finished. I've seen a few clips of it, specifically like Jason Momoa riding Jack Black and what the villagers look like, because apparently the villagers, they just CGI'd their heads.
Yeah.
The fabric, the torsos, that was all people in costume.
Okay.
So you see these people in these big bulky villager costumes, but just like tiny normal human heads, and they're grinning, and it's almost disturbing. And just like, anyway, these random shots of Jason Momoa and Jack Black doing their thing without finished visuals and just the chaos of it. It is. I don't condone pirating, obviously, but search up some clips of this. Man, it is just hysterical.
Oh, I want to see him now.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene in the whole movie was during the closing credits when a certain actor that we both know and love showed up to do a voiceover for the villager.
Oh, yeah.
I won't spoil it, but that was, I think, the biggest laugh that it got out of me.
Well, then, is there anything else you wanted to add to this, or?
Well, I think the one thing I wanted to say about this is, like, you know, this movie is supposed to be about creativity, and I didn't think it actually expressed a lot of creativity. And there's this weird muddled message to me, because any artist will tell you that sometimes there is this defining line between what's good and what's popular. You know, it's the same reason that you'll have, like, violin virtuosos performing in the subway station or performing at the SkyTrain station, right? Whereas people like, say, Sabrina Carpenter are selling out arenas. Now, there's nothing wrong with Sabrina Carpenter's music. It's super catchy and the younger generation loves it. But you have this disconnect between what's inherently good and what's inherently doing super well financially. It's the reason why, like, the Twilight novels were hugely popular, even though all the critics said that they were poorly written. But they, you know, blew up and became a worldwide phenomenon. And the Minecraft movie is, in my opinion, kind of another example of that, where you have this immensely popular thing that everyone's throwing stones at, but it's also going to make more money than any of these people will ever see in their lifetimes, right? But the thing that's kind of a slap in the face, though, is that the message behind Minecraft, a Minecraft movie, is like, don't let your creativity die, and you be true to yourself. Let your creativity run wild. But when you're watching this movie that has like 20 writers and is made by comedians, spent 5 years being built in a lab to be as appealing to the younger audience as possible, it's kind of a slap in the face to other movies that may be a lot more creative but are completely unheard of or under the radar. And so that's kind of a weird, icky point for me on this whole affair. And it's something I've been thinking about kind of daily moving forward. It's kind of like, man, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, what does this mean for, like, underappreciated movies, right? Like,
well, I mean, like, I'll take it a step further. And I always feel, how many movies have we gotten in the last few years that there's like the female hero, right? And, they got like some journey and the movie is trying to show that she's like a strong, independent woman, which I have nothing against. But what I do have something against is like the man writing the part for a strong, independent woman, right? And so I just think that no matter what, someone's always undercutting someone in the movie industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like the wrong wrong way to think about it, because if we're thinking about like, oh, this is a slap in the face to this, it's like, well, I mean, it's not really a slap in the face. This movie has, billions of dollars behind it, right? It has a studio behind it, has all this. Also, it's not necessarily trying to be a good movie either. And the other thing too is like the audience, the people who are interested in these movies, whether they be like major studios or small independent films, it's all according to the audience, and the audience is fickle. So when you have a fickle audience, it becomes impossible to predict what is going to be what is crazy. Like all you can do is just do what you think is going to succeed, and then it's kind of all in the viewers. It's all in our hands to make it a big deal or whatever. That's why I say, like, I can't really see that this is a slap in the face. This is just a movie. I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think it just goes back to what we were saying about how the market is dictating,
yes,
like Hollywood.
Exactly.
You know?
And you know what? That is not necessarily a bad thing. If we could only just figure out how to connect with each other to really get what we want. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I think I'm more curious what the next step is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're watching the slow evolution of an entirely different. Like, I see a future where there are theaters specifically. Here's a prediction for you. From the world's most boring psychic. I see a future where there are specific cinemas that are dedicated to these kind of films, where people are encouraged to absolutely lose it.
Yeah,
like viral cinemas, where it's like a no holds barred, like go nuts, don't hurt the screen or whatever.
Slip and slide going down the aisles.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah. It's like that one scene in Ace Ventura when they find, or the second one when he finds out they're leaving the temples and all the monks are going nuts.
No exaggeration. Yeah, like a hot tub in the middle, people going crazy. Yeah. Everyone's got their phones out, they're talking, singing, whatever. It's literally just like, it's like a frat party.
Yeah.
And then maybe even in the same theater, like the VIP area, you have the quiet little the quiet, secluded, little upscale areas for all the adults to go in. And
how they have those rooms for moms with babies to breastfeed. It'd be like that, but for all us old people that are like want to sit in silence.
Yeah, there's like the Stars and Strollers cinema right next to the Lose Your Mind TikTok theater.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like we could see that, like a literal format dedicated. Maybe they mess proof the cinema a little bit better, like more spill resistant materials and make it easier to clean up, and just be like, you know what? Go nuts, because if this is what's going to get kids, like I say kids, but I mean like if this is what's going to get like Gen Zers to come to their theater, to spend their money, to have fun, to promote their theater, to promote these movies, they should lean into it. Like lose the disclaimer and just make room for it.
This is the future. The future is now, old man.
Yeah, it really feels that way. Yeah, I can see that happening. Lean into it. Why not? Because I don't see an alternative. Like you can't fight the creativity of Gen Zers. There, like someone got a chicken into the theater. Like what more? Like what do you do against that kind of energy? Nothing.
Yeah. You channel it, and hope that you get your theater to go viral because someone's bringing a chicken into it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
hand out chickens at the door.
Yeah, have like a Hall of Fame board on the outside of the cinema showing photos of the craziest stuff that's happened in there.
Yeah. I mean, we can't keep doing the same thing expecting, different results, or however that saying goes. So maybe there needs to be a change in the way that cinema happens.
Yeah, if cinema is going to become an amusement park ride, lean into it, because if you try to change it, cinema's going to die. It's either going to be Minecraft movies that keep the door open, or they're going to die. It's just the way it is right now. But, you know, make room for us other guys too, or us older guys, because we still want to watch stuff too.
Yeah, just one theater where it's all focused on like the best audio and visual quality possible.
Oh, yeah.
And then one that's just a wet and wild room.
Waterproofed, spill-proof. Yeah.
Amazing. Maybe some foam cannons, slip and slide, a couple bottles of baby oil.
Imagine confetti cannons on either side of the screen that are timed to go off right at the big meme line. Whatever went viral in that movie, just have it set up, make it a huge event.
I had this is super random, not connected to the Minecraft movie. But Coachella is either happening or it happened. Mm-hmm. But I was just thinking about it because how many times do you see like a TikTok, Instagram video of some influencer at Coachella? And I just wonder if there's just some area I've never been, and maybe you guys already know this exists, but like, is there just some area where all the influencers go together to make their videos? Also, it's just wild now starting to see younger and younger people just so like okay with doing their influence videos in the public.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally dating myself right now and making myself out to be an old man. But it's just wild. It's wild to me because, I am such a private person and I'm like, I wouldn't want anybody looking at me while I do one of these like little dances or whatever they are. Right.
Yeah.
But what a time to be alive.
I know. I felt awkward enough just doing a reaction video in my car after them. I was like, I hope no one's looking at me talking to a phone. I'm like, man, everyone's doing that.
Oh, it's so weird. But
I'm glad we discussed all this because now when we look back on it, we'll be like, we knew it.
Yeah, you heard us, big head Hollywood studio people.
Yeah, just honestly, just have TikTok like sponsor a theater chain or something. Just
yeah, that's like, not a bad idea.
Put their logo on the front doors. Like if that's what we're doing, then you can't fight the rush of the tide, man.
TikTok could just sponsor a movie, right, to be streamed in a certain theater, and I don't know. There's ways around it. They can do it if they want.
I think a rising tide kind of lifts all boats. And if these studios are making billions off of these like meme movies, then they're going to have more money to spend and take more risks on other maybe more creative ventures. So let's look at it that way. Let's try to be optimistic about all this and not just shake our fists at the sun, because that's really what it feels like right now for a lot of YouTube reviewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Aaron, should we announce our next mainline episode?
Yeah, definitely.
We will be defending
Junior
from 1994.
Yeah, my old twin Danny DeVito and Dan's twin Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I wish. Sitting on Rotten Tomatoes at 39% with a popcorn meter rating of 22%. This is our second Danny DeVito film and our second Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah, just seems right.
Just seems right. Doesn't get much better than that. So thanks so much for checking out our episodes, and we'll get Junior out just as soon as possible. But again, we are still kind of staggering our content, so we'll get it done when we get it done. We'll keep you updated. And until then, check out our social media links. They're all in the show notes. Feel free to check out our Instagram. I'm going to try to be more active on that. And we will see you in the next episode of In Defense of a Movie Podcast.
Bye.